I'm building the brand.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our members podcast here on the Clashing Conferences. We've got a few of our regulars here with Kyle and Patty, but we have one kind of new face and one brand new face. So, Patty, these guys are here because of you. Why don't you take a moment
Sure.
and introduce your friend to us?
So first off, some of you watched 2 weeks ago. We had JD on from JD Talking Sports. JD's a good friend of mine, known for about 2 or 3 years now. Hosts an amazing show on YouTube that I know we'll be shouting out sooner rather than later, having member opportunities to go on with him. So we are glad to have him now on as a regular, as a member of the Clashing Conferences. And secondly, for anyone in the, whatever the screen's going to say, this is Sean, but I will forever call him Diff. His last name is Diffley. So that kid Diff on Instagram, I'm sure Steve will get that handle for when he puts out things and everything like that. But great friend of mine, met at Cortland almost 15 years ago at this point, which is crazy to think about. And I was saying this before the show, one of my most knowledgeable friends when it comes to just outside the game, everything. Despite him being a Knicks and Yankees fan, which I can't get along with, he gives some of the most credible opinions. So if that tells you where I lie, despite him, being a fan of two of the teams that I can't stand, welcome, Diff. We're hoping to have you around for a while, baby.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background on where you're at and your teams that you rep and everything like that? Give us a little history on you.
Yep. So I'm from downstate New York. Yeah, so I grew up Yankees, Knicks, and Giants all the way. I don't really watch hockey that much, but if there would be, it'd be Rangers. And yeah, just definitely baseball is my favorite sport for sure. So definitely just absolutely love the Yankees and really just love the history of baseball more than anything. And then basketball, and I grew up playing as well. So my dad's a huge basketball fan, so it was instilled into me. And yeah, and obviously the Knicks are by far my favorite team. And the Giants, obviously everyone loves football. I played for 10 fantasy leagues, and the Giants have been my team since I was a little kid. So
10 fantasy leagues. How many of those are with Patty? Because Patty's in 19.
yeah, probably 4 or 5.
Well, that was 2025, Patty. I don't know if 2026 Patty's allowed to be in 19 leagues this year.
No promises. Might be 21 this year.
Who does better between Patty and you, Sean? Who does better in fantasy leagues?
So we have our main dynasty league from when we started when we were sophomores in college. I've won it twice. He's came in second probably 5 times.
Yeah, I'm the Bills of the league. I've never won it. I just spent a wedding with some college friends this past weekend, and I had to plug my ears anytime they brought it up. So I'm a little cursed. I actually lost to Diff 2 years ago in the finals for his second one, and I lost. But yeah, we're competitive with each other, but in the best way. When I say in the best way, I mean hey, you spend the night with your family and you wake up at a message from Diff at 3 a.m. that's Mets hater 2142 on Twitter, and it's some obscure stat about the Mets, doing something or that other. So that's my guy.
I like it. I like
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
JD, you want to remind everybody again a little bit about you and your background and your history now that you're officially joining us with the Clashing Conferences?
Chrissy, I love it. Yankees, Knicks, Rangers, UNC basketball, but I got to give respect to my girlfriend. So go blue. Jets, what I say. And I'll tell you, I'll watch 2 Cockroaches. Actually, today I did I did a really cool podcast today with a woman. She's co-founder of Bras for Girls, where she gets sports bras for all girls of all ages, starting at age 8. And it's based out of Washington State, and they're in 50 states and 15 countries. It was a really cool little interview with her today. So, yeah. So that's what I did
listened to that. I listened to what you sent me. Man, the obscure stuff, the way that you found it, I'm all in. I'm all in. I was tuned in. Has zero to do with me. Zero
Right.
at all. You know, I used to be fat and probably could have used a sports bra, but I don't anymore. I don't need one. So, you know, it was interesting to hear all that. And, you know, 50 states and 15 countries. That's insane.
And
Absolutely insane.
And Kyle, they did a bra toss at a PW at the Seattle Torrent game, and they got over 1,300 sports bras at the game. So, and
That's crazy.
And there's the new world, the women's fast pitch baseball. So the number one pick by San Francisco, I think it's Kelsey Whitmore. I might be saying it, and she's a spokesperson for the organization, which, you know, I was like, just random. And she had on a Torrent hockey jersey, which I was like, how cool is that?
Did she get into like what made her start doing this? Like, did you get all that feedback on that? Because like I would imagine the '94 Women's World Cup team, right? Where
and I forgot to mention that, right? That's the one thing that was in my head afterwards.
Right. Right.
She said she was in. I think it just came organically. I don't know. Something happened with the kids, and she just started it, and it just took off from there. So, yeah.
Saw
it was really interesting.
Fill the need, right?
Fill a need, right.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah.
JD, before we get into all Chrissy's agenda, I wanted to ask this because I don't know if it'll fit in later. Just touch on the atmosphere at that sold-out MSG PWHL game. Like, every video that I've seen is just unbelievable. Like,
I got to first tell you this. We're at the game, and so they're the New York Sirens. You know what their chant is?
Yeah, they go wee woo, wee woo.
Yeah. Well, how about that 55 times during the game? 55 times during the game. I thought my girlfriend was going to kill somebody. She's like, enough with the. But the atmosphere. Billie Jean King threw out the first puck. Did the puck drop?
I saw.
And Hillary Knight, they cheered her at the beginning, but at the end when she went for penalty shots, they were booing her. So it was. The hockey was a little slow to get going, but 18,000 people. Now, I don't think it was sold out, but they said 18,066. It was amazing. I mean, the fans, yeah, it was definitely, it was. And then we went the next night. We saw the Rangers on Sunday. So we went back-to-back nights to MSG.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is
awesome.
It
was really cool. Yeah, I was glad I was there.
Mean, it sucks that you had to see the Rangers, but, you know.
They beat the Caps 8-1. I mean, it's great 8 goals. That was more than the last 5 games we saw them play. So,
fair enough.
All right,
love it.
All right.
So we just had the biggest weekend in college basketball come to a close last night. So, gentlemen, give me your thoughts. Let's go with the women's Final Four first, and let's touch on the argument that ensued between the coaches. Let me get your thoughts on that. Kyle, you look like you need to say something.
Well, I mean, look, it's clear as day. Gino is he's a hell of a coach. What he's done with women's college basketball is remarkable. It's unprecedented, and he's put UConn women on the map in like the legendary status that he has. Having said that, he looked like a pretty damn big sore loser. He looked like a kid that didn't get his way because he had an undefeated team and they got trounced. They got dominated. South Carolina had their number. And look, he could have took the high road like Dawn Staley did after the fact, and when she lost the national championship, it was like, I'm glad that we just didn't have it today. And I'm proud or humble enough to admit that they were the better team and they deserved to win. And it was good to see a good team that plays the right way win. Like, that's what Gino should have did, because South Carolina just came out and dominated them. But instead, he got in his feelings about something and made it seem like she didn't shake his hand. I watched the pregame. Like, she not only shook his hand and hugged him, she went down and like dapped up every single assistant coach, every ball boy, the water guy, like everything. Like, she went down the whole bench. And they always do that pregame. So, like, I don't understand. I guess when they announced the lineups, she didn't go out and say something to him. But, like, who cares about that? Like, you already said what's up to him. So, like, I don't know. I just think that he should have handled it differently, much differently, in my opinion. And I think Dawn Staley proved why she's a real class act. Not to mention she's from Philly, so shout out to Dawn Staley. She gives us from Philly a good name. You know what I mean? Like, we're not all bad. We're not all bad. Sean, don't shake your head, Diff. Don't shake your head. We're not all bad. We're not all bad, brother.
So that's why nobody wanted to fight
bad.
her. She's from Philly, so she knows how to fight. So that's why everybody was like, "There's no way Gino would ever step to Dawn."
Well, and they were like, it looked like she wanted to whoop his, you know what? And it's like, she would have. She absolutely would have. She looked like she was limping a little bit, like she's seen better days too. But Gino's 73 years old. She'd put that man in a body bag quick. Quick. So that's where I see on it. I mean, South Carolina was the better team in that game, and they played like it. They came out with a game plan and they executed it, and UConn had no answers. It didn't help that UConn missed, I don't know, 15 straight shots at one point. Like, they couldn't make a damn shot. They really couldn't. The funniest thing though was Gino's sideline reporter interview, and he was like, they're not calling fouls. I'm not trying to make excuses. You just made excuses. Like, you spent 3 minutes making an excuse, but then you're like, I'm not trying to make an excuse. Dude, you literally just did that. Like, that was the whole reason you took this interview, was to make an excuse. So, I just think he was a sore loser, and it's a shame because I have the utmost respect for him, and I think he's an awesome guy, and he usually has like good one-liners, but like, he seemed like he was in over his head in that game and was frustrated.
Yeah. The only two things that I wanted to say about the women's Final Four that I thought were really cool are the two things from UCLA. Actually, it has nothing to do with South Carolina or UConn. One, the coach for UCLA, I'm not sure her name, so I'm really sorry about that. But she basically had an interview after the national championship, and they were like, what makes you different? And she said basically, like, she grew up idolizing John Wooden, who obviously like praises, like player relationships and love and like building rapport with their players. And she goes, but she grew up in a culture seeing like coaches like yell and be this. And she was very authentic, saying that she just wanted to win the way she wanted to win. And I thought that was really cool as someone that like doesn't necessarily love to yell when they coach. Like, I thought that was a really cool thing. And the second thing was UCLA having, I believe, 5 senior returners. Jaquez and the girl whose little sister is also on the team. I was just watching a TikTok. Yeah, I was just watching TikTok about them earlier. And I'm obviously pro NIL. I've said that since the beginning, but it is really cool to see a story inside the NIL where they all decided to stick around for another year and made those national championship dreams pay off. So shout out to them.
Yeah, good point.
Definitely a cool story.
I got one thing. So I had taken these notes down. The seniors of UCLA played 697 games. They scored 9,271 points, 3,737 rebounds, 1,986 points, and they scored the last 173 points in the Final Four. Awesome. All the seniors. I mean, and her name is Close. What's her name? I had it right here for you. Yeah, Corey Close.
Close, yes.
Yeah.
So
I do have to say this though. Did you see her when she was hugging her family after the game in the stands?
Her mom,
like, her mom, her sister, like they all looked alike. Like all three of them, they looked like they were the same person. They all had the same hair. They all had the same face. Like they looked exactly alike. Like it was a clone. And I was like, oh my god, I can tell that they're family because they look identical. It was crazy, but good for her. Yeah, she seemed like a real like down to earth stand up. And Patty, I like your point, man, because like she's not the yeller or screamer or anything like that. Like she's just and you could tell that UCLA team was like a family. Like it was a completely different scenario than what you normally see out of college sports. Like they, like you just brought up, JD, like the seniors were there forever and played so much time together. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
They all talked about that they could have went somewhere and been like a star, but they said they'll always remember the ring. And one thing, Patty, you said about Wooden, she went to his house for like 15 years. And one of the questions he never answered was, she's like, well, how do you finish a game? And he goes, that's what makes you unique. You'll figure that out yourself. And she was like, so I thought that was really interesting that, John Wooden, all this advice, but the one thing he said, that's what makes you unique and what you bring to the game and everything. So I thought that, I just love their story. I mean, I love that they're all seniors and they all stuck around. And
Yep.
Yeah.
At the same school, unlike the men's schools where, the Final Four was like they all started at a different school. And, here they are. Like
Right.
literally, Michigan's whole starting five was at a different school last year. Crazy.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Did you see while we're transitioning to the men? I don't know if you guys saw this, but I think I sent it to Diff earlier that Reed, who's on UConn, has been in like 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 4 last national championships, but he's never won one of them because he's always been on. Like he was on Michigan
team.
for 2, and then he was on
Yep.
UConn for the other one.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's terrible luck.
All right, so how do we feel about last night's game?
I was asleep, so I'll let somebody else talk.
I wanted to ask everybody, does it drive you crazy that they have these in these caverns? Like, it shouldn't be in a football stadium. It's not.
So
yeah, it ruins the game.
The thing that kills me is Indianapolis, like itself. Like when they raised that court and it just bothers me. Like I don't like that at all. Like that was the same court that Nova won on. That was actually the same court that Kentucky won on in 2012. Like with it being raised like that, I'm surprised people don't get hurt more. Like I know that they space it out and everything, but like when the people come off the bench, they have to climb up. Like it's just like they got to make it better. Like basketball should be played in a basketball court, like on a normal surface that everybody's used to being. Like it doesn't need to be raised. Like the only caveat to that is when they used to play on like the aircraft carrier. Like when they used to play on that was pretty damn cool. I loved that, But like when they play in these football stadiums like that, I mean. You think about this, like you have a seat at the national champion or at the Final Four, but the national championship game. But you're all the way at the top. You can't see a damn thing. You can't even see the scoreboard, basically.
I know they would never do it because of the scheduling, and I hate to give Diff credit where it's due, but how cool would a national championship at Madison Square Garden be? Like you talk about like the mecca of basketball, like that to me would just be like you talk about the arena to have a national championship in New York. You could have it a little bit earlier. So instead of tipping off at 9:05, you could tip off at 8:20, like, and still get the West Coast. Like, I don't know. That to me would be a cool. I agree with you though. The only thing that made me mad is that last year Elliot Kudo couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat for North Carolina, and magically he learned how to shoot a basketball now that he's on Michigan. So good for him, I guess.
He was pretty dominant last night. Here's my other thing too. So like, I understand, and this is just my own pet peeve. I've always thought this. Like the Final Four every year, it has the Final Four logo and then Final Four on the court. Shouldn't they just change that for the national championship? Shouldn't there be something for the national championship? Like, shouldn't they make that special in its own right too? I just always felt like that. Like, even if it's the logo at mid court, like the baselines can still say Final Four, but like something that makes that special that says national championship. There was nothing that said national championship last night. Everything just says the Final Four. Like, you're the final two. Like, something should stand out, and you should remember that. Like, when you play in the national championship for college football, yeah, it might be the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl or anything like that, like how it used to be. But like, there was always something that said national championship. There's nothing for college basketball ever that says the national championship, other than the announcers that say this is a national championship game. You know what I mean? Like everything on the sidelines and on the court says Final Four. Just a pet peeve of mine. Like if I was a college athlete playing in that, I'd be like, damn, I wish there was something there. But
I have never paid attention to that.
I like that, Con. I like that. I like that though.
I mean, it makes sense. Totally makes sense. So Michigan.
What do you think, Diff? What do you think, Diff?
So I think like the football stadium is just horrible, but it's a corporate greed at its finest, so it's literally never going to change ever again. I'm pretty sure Michigan was 0-4 from 3 in the first half.
Oh yeah,
and
0 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad product, and
you're caught forever. Sorry, goodbye.
It's just a bad, it's not conducive to the game at all. And there's another thing. It's like they have like pretty strict practice times the teams have for that court, and that I know Gino was saying that. Like he basically said in his press conferences to bet the under because all the teams are rusty because the practice times are bad. So just another factor. Like they don't have time or the ability to practice in the football stadium, and it's never going to be like a crisp game in my opinion.
It
because
was
of that.
Yeah.
Diff. It was a drudge yesterday. Did you watch the game last night, Diff?
Yeah.
It was tough to watch. I mean,
Yeah, it was really fit. Yeah.
Oof.
It was ugly. It was just
It
ugly.
was ugly.
Really.
It really was. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like that one rim on the one side was just every ball was rimming out of it too. I know the broadcasters brought that up a couple of times.
Well,
Yeah, the one on the left.
what about in the Illinois game? So Saturday night, there's conspiracy theories that like half of the shots that Illinois put up looked like they were good and were going to go in, and then the basketball gods made it not happen. Has anybody?
Christy, it wasn't the basketball gods. It was actually the Looney Tunes were under the court with the magnet from Space Jam, where they're moving the golf ball, but they're actually just moving the basketball.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Has anybody seen those that people were like, oh my God, for the shots that Illinois put up, like they should have gone in. There's zero reason why they missed as much as they did. I just thought that was hilarious. I didn't go down the rabbit hole. I didn't research it. I just read the headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, even on TV, it sounded like the rims were even making different sounds. The one rim on one side sounded different than the rim on the other side too, which was bizarre. But I mean,
JD, you would know more about this than I would. Is Mara gonna come out, or does he have another year of eligibility?
Does Mara have another year left? You know if Mara has another year? I got to look him up. I don't know. I heard. So we were at the bar, and so my girlfriend had bought me those overalls. For the Michigan overalls, and we met a kid in the bar who said there's the guard for Wisconsin who averaged 19 a game. I forget what his name is coming to Michigan next year. Like that's the rumor. He's
definitely in the portal. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's coming to Michigan. They said next year. So I don't know. I thought Mara was a junior. I would think he'd come back. I mean, he looks like a. And do you know what he's majoring in? He's from Spain. What do you think his major is in Michigan? Spanish.
I thought that was the obvious answer. I thought you were going to tell me like French or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought the same thing.
So he's really pushing the button at Michigan. He's studying Spanish.
He was at UCLA last year, right?
Right.
We've talked about this before, though. They're not student athletes anymore. They're just athletes. Nobody cares about the student part anymore. Nobody gives a damn about it. Like, that's it. When was the last time you heard a player being ruled ineligible?
It's like the quote from Friday Night Lights where they're interviewing Boobie Miles and they're like, hey, what's your favorite subject in school? He's like, football. I get A in football. Who cares about anything else? Like,
that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
Like,
hey, shout out to your girlfriend, by the way. Like, Christy, I want to throw this back in your face for calling me a Penn State lover and all this. I will never wear Penn State overalls. And my wife knows to not even. She knows to not even buy them.
When JD posted that picture, I was like, wait a minute. I thought we were Tar Heels homies, and then all of a sudden I see him at Michigan.
That's why I wanted to throw it to you. That's exactly why I wanted to throw it to you.
Christy, to say this, I've known JD for, like I said, almost a little over 2 years now. I didn't know that his girlfriend's name was Nikki for like a year and a half because all he would do was call her Michigan. Like that was her name to us was Michigan. So like that's how deep it goes that she's a Michigan fan.
Okay. I get it.
She was Michigan for a year and a half before I ever knew her real name. Like,
yeah.
I wear the 49er stuff to rep the husband and some Cardinal stuff every once in a while to rep the husband.
Because you can't bring that Titans gear out. We know.
Oh no, I still unfortunately rep that as well. As sad as that is, that people put pity on me and tip me better. I think because I'm a Titans fan when I'm working.
There you go. Yeah.
We're proud.
JD, I'm throwing this one to you. We hired a new coach. How do you feel?
Okay, so it's funny because Malone played college ball at my friend's college, Loyal in Baltimore. And so his dad was Brendan Malone, right? That's his dad. That's how he got into the coaching career. So even my mother said to me, she goes, wait a minute, he coached the NBA. How's he going to coach in college? And I was like, I guess. So they've already compared him that Larry Brown won in college in the NBA. He'd be the second to do it. I got to be honest with you. I was told this was left field to me. What do you think? What did you, I mean,
my opinion of Mike Malone is he beat my Miami Heat.
Okay.
So go for it, Patty. What do you want to say?
No, I actually want to hear what Diff has to say first because I want to hear his opinion first on it because I think we're going to have very similar ones.
But I'm kind of like you, JD. I don't know that NBA and college translate that well. Not many coaches have had success in one and success in one and in the other. So I like him as a coach. I didn't like him when he beat my Heat, but I don't know. I don't know how that's going to fit with the Tar Heels. And
he's getting $8.3 million a year, I heard. Right, he's going to be the fifth highest paid coach in college already.
Well, then he better win, and he better win fast.
Yeah, so I think like obviously he knows the game and everything. And the thing is with college now, the transfer portal, you're not recruiting to high school kids as deeply as you are. So that aspect of the jump from NBA to college is kind of not existent anymore with the transfer portal, how it is and everything. And but a downside to Malone is that he was basically let go because he didn't have the best relationship with the players. And that will not translate to college because, you got to baby the kids. So that could be like the big issue. That's like probably what like Belichick is going through right now, honestly. Because why is his team so bad when he's the biggest genius in the sport that ever lived, basically.
Yeah, I have very similar opinions. I think that the good side, I think if you're looking to hang your hat on something, it's that with the NIL, he could, and the North Carolina brand, you are looking at, especially a little bit different than college football. College basketball, you could look at a team that on paper could be a top 20 team roster wise right off the rip before he even steps foot in the building. And that's the glory of the NIL that I think will help him. I think the downside to me is exactly what you pointed to, Diff, is that I don't know if I would, like, he just wouldn't have been the guy to go get for me. Like, again, if you're going to go this route, which is, not necessarily a lot of college experience, or you wanted a big name because your brand is North Carolina, like, I think they missed out on Dusty May and they kind of panicked a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that they would have answered or anything like this, but the two names that I put in the chat were like, I would have at least called Calipari. Like, if you're North Carolina, I would have at least said, hey, would you leave Arkansas to come to North Carolina? Not that he would have said yes. And the second one I would have thrown out, and I don't think he would have left, would have been Patino, and said, hey, St. John's is really good and you control the New York market and you brought them back, but do you want there's unless John Shire quit today, is there a more desirable job in college basketball than North Carolina? Probably not. So I don't know. If I'm North Carolina admin, if I'm hiring a guy with that's coming in from out of the blue, like I would have at least made some of those phone calls. And who's to say they didn't? We'll never know. But that's just my side of things.
And
well,
Lloyd too.
I'm sorry, Kyle. He also got Roy Williams and Jordan's stamp of approval, right? So like,
yeah,
that means a lot for North Carolina, fans and North Carolina like stakeholders basically. But like, who's to say that one of those guys didn't make a phone call to Patino or make a phone call to any of those guys? Like you never know, and like they'll keep that hush hush, and you'll never find out. But I guarantee you there was probably other offers made, because like the hot rumor out there was the fact that they were backing up the Brinks truck for Billy Donovan. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because he literally hasn't coached in college in 20 years, but he still has that pedigree. He's still that guy, right? So because I know 2 years ago, Kentucky backed up the Brinks truck for Billy Donovan, and he was like, no, because the Bulls were borderline playoff team. Like they were there a couple of years ago, and he didn't want to leave Chicago. So, I just don't know who else they could have went after without poaching somebody from another team and paying that buyout. Now, North Carolina has the money, just like Duke, just like Kentucky, just like any of these other blue bloods. But like, I don't know if they really wanted to go that route, and they didn't have to with Malone.
But you know what it made me think of? Like Jacobson going to Iowa. And I thought, what if we went after, because he's going to be a beast. I think he's going to get Iowa. He's just a guy who's going to get them winning. And I feel like you guys said with Malone, and he did end well at the NBA, and I can't get Jokic to come even though he's got 4-year eligibility, I can't get him. I mean, can we get him come to Chapel Hill? Maybe we get him a horse farm or something, get some horses. I mean, maybe, but I'm like, yeah, I just don't know about Malone. I mean, his daughter plays volleyball there, but Christy, I just don't know. It's a lot of.
I said that to somebody last night. I'm like, oh, they went out of the Carolina bloodline, and they're like, no, his daughter goes to school there and plays volleyball there. And I was like, oh, well, we're still some way 7 degrees of separation.
I wonder if, I guess, to me, I think that I wonder if and obviously like with Hubert Davis, like this was not what they had imagined, but you'd have to think there was probably some push from the school to say, we can't get an up and comer. Like we can't call Will Wade, who just went to NC State last year, and try to bring him to North Carolina. Like we can't call these up and comers and take a shot on them. They basically, their upper brass said, the basketball program's getting $150 million a year to bring in players. Go find me the best X's and O's coach money can buy. And that happened to be Mike Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chrissy, I just saw the roster too. I mean, like Patty's and Diff said with NIL, you guys, this roster sucks. I mean, I looked at the top to bottom. I mean, there's nothing there right now. I mean, that is
but here's
bare.
the thing. Today's April 7th. The portal opened at midnight last night, and over 1,000 players entered the portal. So don't worry, they'll have their pick of the litter, and especially because they're North Carolina with that NIL money. They'll have the pick of the litter, and they'll get some five stars in there, no problem.
They'll find some guy that played for University of Texas, Valverde, Rio Grande, San Antonio, Houston, alma mater, McGee, and he'll be a 20-point scorer for him next year. For sure.
He's an unprecedented 6-star athlete that nobody knew about.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
What up, everybody? The Beard is here. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, the law offices of William P. Harrington. Credit card litigation, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, estate planning, estate administration, guardianships, they do it all. As a member, listener, follower, supporter of our network, they are offering you a 15% discount on these services. So if you are in the Pennsylvania or New Jersey area, schedule your free consultation today.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
Who won our members pool? Who won the pool? Who was the overall winner for the...
We don't need to talk about it. We could just skip this segment. He's not here. He doesn't need to be acknowledged. We can just go to the next one.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So how about we skip this segment?
It happened to be my less handsome Montgomery brother, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was Paul. We can talk about Jim. That's fine.
Yeah,
Jim
won
won
less
it?
handsome Montgomery brother. Yeah, unfortunately.
Jim won enough. Kyle, are you setting this all up that Jim wins everything?
Do you think I want my brother to win anything? I don't want my brother to win a damn thing.
He's 2 for 2 right now.
If there was a way I could rig it so he came in last in everything without getting caught, I would do it. But there's no way I can possibly do it. I blame Patty. I figured Patty would win, and Patty didn't. So that's who I blame.
I didn't. I think I picked Florida in that one.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely segue nicely then to our sponsors. So if you need to get your hair cut and you are in the Lancaster area, you can stop at Sparrow Hair Studios. Go see Lean. She'll make you look good. I need a haircut. Maybe I need to make a trip to Philly and get my hair cut because it's looking bad. But let Lean know that you're a member of the Clashing Conferences family, and she will get you a discount. Secondly, we have Lotwin 3D Custom Chains. That's LOTWYN. Get your custom 3D chains made for anything you need. Use the code TCCPOD. You get 10% off. Super stoked to get my Cal Rally one I keep talking about. I got to put that order in before we hit the game in August. And last but not least, Kyle, would you like to take the lesser handsome Montgomery brother?
I will. You can shout out Mr. Jim Montgomery, who won something else on this podcast, but he hasn't been on the members pod all year so far. So I don't think we're going to give him credit for that, but we will give him credit for This Day in Philly Sports History, where he takes you down memory lane every single day with the good, the bad, the ugly, most of it being bad and ugly because we don't have a lot of good in Philly. But anything good that's happened in Philly, he touches on. And I do want to give a quick shout out. On April 22nd, he will be attending. There's a lunch, networking, and sports memorabilia display that he will be attending for the Delaware County Press Club. They're kind of making it a big deal, and he's one of the guest honorees there. So they're making a big deal of it for him. So, shout out to Jim for that. That's a huge deal, and we're super pumped for you, brother. Super pumped.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll give
he has good genes. You know what I mean?
he
It's
has good
genes.
I'll give my quick 30-second F1 update. We have no races because the races that were supposed to be happening are in the Middle East, so those have been canceled. So we will not talk F1 again until Miami on May 3rd. So
Oh, wow.
Yes. 2 races canceled.
And are they're not going to put him back in on the other? That's what I read. Not putting. No.
It's too hard. Their schedule is so weird in the way they have to travel and everything they have to pack up. And sometimes, depending upon where the races are, we can do back-to-back weekends. There's typically a weekend or two between races for how much they're moving with all the equipment they're moving. And yeah, no, I know. I was like, can we throw them on at the end of the year? Because we always end in the middle, in like Saudi and stuff like that with our races and Bahrain and everywhere. But nah, it's probably not looking like it's going to be in the works. So we're just down 2 right now.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the F1.
Pretty messed up.
Patty, you want to talk a little NBA since your team we're in that last week? We're in
Sure. I was just
going
gonna say I wasn't even gonna talk about Heat Celtics last week. I was just about to say that.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that. You know, we're good on that. We don't have to talk about that.
I was just gonna say that if you would like to turn on NBC, looks like Celtics Hornets is gonna be an absolute banger. We've talked about how much I like the product on NBC, and what they're doing. It's kind of my first look at the Hornets for a whole game, so I'm excited to see them. I think the NBA is going to be a nice electric finish. I told Diff last week that I hope the Celtics see the Knicks in the second round because I think that would be a really good series in the Eastern Conference. But how do you feel about that, Diff? What are the Knicks? I know you like them, but like you're the realist, so let's hear what the realist thinks.
Yeah, like second round or Eastern Conference Finals seems to be like where they'll go. I don't see them like they could very easily lose to Boston. Obviously, they beat Boston last year, even with Tatum getting injured. They were still going to win that series anyway. But Boston's playing a lot better than Knicks are right now. Probably got the leg up on the coaching for sure. And I am not very up on the Knicks going into the NBA
Do you
Finals,
trust Mike Brown? Do you trust Mike Brown going into the NBA playoffs or no?
I mean, trust. I mean, that's a hard word to say, just because, like, obviously, like he's coached in the playoffs before and everything, but it's not really like I don't really blame it on Mike Brown for sure. It's just that honestly, like the team is how the team's put together is pretty flawed. First of all, like Mikal Bridges kind of stinks, honestly. Like just being real, like he's really like not reliable at
Not
all
worth 5 first-round
offensively.
picks. Yeah.
The first round picks don't even matter. It's just that like he's taking up a big chunk of the cap room and he puts up basically 12 points a game. And like not really that impressive defensively. Like he's not shut down. He's not shut down anybody. OG is phenomenal. I really love his game. And then the biggest thing is Cat. Cat is just so inconsistent. He's getting 54 million a year, and you know some games he puts up 25 and 12, great, but some games he literally takes like 4 or 5 field goals in the whole game. Partially because he can't stay on the court because he's getting in foul trouble, and when you're doing that, you're gonna throw Mitch in there for all those minutes. It's not really Mitch's thing. Mitch needs to stay at like 25 minutes a game for him to be as as successful as he could be. And so the Knicks are I love the Knicks, but they're flawed. And I honestly like second round, third round exit seems to be where they're going to be at again this year.
See, Kyle, they do exist.
Hey, listen. So since we're talking real on the Knicks, I gotta ask a couple questions. So first question, and I've been dying to ask a realistic Knicks fan on this for years, and we haven't found one. Do you think Jalen Brunson's head is too big for his body?
Now that you say it, he definitely has a big noggin for sure.
All right, he is realistic. All right, he is realistic,
especially his forehead.
Yeah, exactly right. And the second question: do the Knicks want to see the Sixers in that first round?
That's a good question because I don't think they really like the best thing that happened to the Sixers was the PG suspension because he's fresh and he's been killing it. Like the Sixers can definitely beat the Knicks for sure. If it would help if Joel Embiid pulls another extremely dirty move and just basically just swipes out someone's legs again. I mean, that was one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen on a basketball court where he did the Mitch
It was
2
a
years ago.
basketball move. It was a basketball move.
But yeah, the
So we got a
Sixers are for
realistic
real.
Knicks fan, but not a realistic Sixers fan.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
I'm
what we're saying?
laughing. I know it was dirty. I know it was dirty.
Yeah, the Sixers could definitely beat the Knicks for sure, without a doubt.
I like it. Or the Sixers could
Maxi's
get
a real
swept.
deal.
They could get swept by the Knicks too. So you could. It's a roll of dice, really.
Diff, last thing on the Knicks before we move on to something else. Are you pro trade Cat and Bridges for Giannis in the offseason, or you stay as far away from Giannis as you can at this point?
If they would take Cat and Bridges, I would do that in an absolute heartbeat. Because honestly, like Cat has gotten basically this has been like a non-winning player his whole career. Like he's had that attribute toward him where he doesn't really lead his team to a winning pedigree. And I'm not the biggest Giannis fan. His game as he ages does not progress well with age. And so he's not going to just continue to be able to get to the free throw line at will into his mid-30s. And that's really his game. He can't shoot. He'll be a good defender. He could guard multiple positions. That's great. But his game does not age well when he gets into his mid-30s. And that's the only thing that would kind of scare me. But you got to, if I would do Cat and Bridges for Giannis for sure. I don't think Milwaukee would do that. But if I'm a Knicks fan, I would do that.
I think it would be more like a Cat Bridges with McBride or Hart and a couple of picks. But I think that Cat and Bridges would probably be the legit thing. And I know Mike's not here to back me up, but and anyone that has not seen LaMelo Ball play basketball, despite his last name, you are missing out because that dude,
That kid can hoop.
hoops.
Yeah, he can
He
hoop.
does.
That dude
He does.
hoops.
Hey, real quick, JD, you're a Knicks fan too, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you both. While we have, it seems like realistic Knicks fans. Let's just keep the train rolling here. So, is Jalen Brunson a certified superstar?
Yes.
Diff, do you think he's I mean, I feel like there's times where I always see, but do you find him a liability on defense?
Of course, for sure.
So that's what, but don't, okay, so Diff, you really follow basketball. I mean, I've been watching my whole life, but don't you feel that's a superstar where I got to see it both sides of the court? And that's what I feel about, that's what I don't ever feel about Brunson. I don't feel like, sometimes he'll make a play on D, but.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like if he's too much of a liability on defense to be considered like a top 5 player, top 10 player in the league. It's just a fact.
So I agree, but I think, and we've talked about this before, Kyle, is that I think he's a superstar, but I think that fact can exist, but I also agree with the fact that I've said 1,000 times before that you can't, and Diff talked about the flaws of the Knicks. I don't expect the Knicks to win to win an NBA title because you can't have your two best offensive players be two of your worst defensive players. Like the stars of your team cannot be your worst defensive players, and that's Jalen Brunson's flaw. Now, I think he's a superstar, and that exists over here. And I also think he's a bad defender as he's over here. And in the Venn diagram that we learned all those years ago, I don't think they overlap. But I can understand why some people think that they do.
Is it Venn or is it Sven? I've heard
No,
people
it's
call it a
Venn.
Sven diagram with
Maybe
like
you
a
need to go
silent
take
S.
another Philly
I didn't-
education and figure it out.
I didn't
But
say that I call it that. I said I've heard people call it that, and that's
you
why
know
I
who
wondered.
calls it a
That's all.
Sven diagram? Anna and Elsa. They call it a Sven diagram, okay? Everybody else calls it a Venn diagram, pal. All right?
So, Kyle, your Sixers,
Yes.
how far are they going?
I mean, depends on what Joel Embiid shows up in the playoffs, honestly. I mean, I think PG, Edgecombe, and Maxey, with the way that they're playing and the way that they're like all healthy right now, they could do some damage. They could probably win 1 or 2 games easily, but like they need a healthy Embiid to make it to the second round. But I think we all know whether he's healthy or not, they're not getting out of the second round. They just don't do it. Like it's guaranteed they're not getting out of the second round. I don't care if they somehow play the Raptors in the second round. They're not getting past anybody in the second round. So, that'll be a successful year, all things considered, if they make it to the second round. But, I just like the fact that there's exciting basketball for the Sixers this year. I wasn't expecting exciting basketball. I was hoping for it. Maxey became a star. Edgecombe looks like he's a budding star. And to your point, I don't know what PG took when he got his drug test and got suspended 25 games, but he should probably do that every season for the rest of his career because it did refresh him. And man, he is balling out right now. So, if we're going to pay him $73 million on his contract, he better ball out the rest of the season. It's ridiculous.
Money, 73, just like
it's nuts. It's nuts.
The MLB has a rule where if you get a PED suspension, you're out, and if you come back from the regular season, you're out for the playoffs. I wish the NBA had that rule.
Yeah. I'm glad that they don't this year. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, but like, it all depends. I feel like the NBA's drug policy is a lot different than MLB's because I feel like a lot of these guys get dinged for PEDs or get dinged for drug policy violations, and they're back in like 5 to 10 games or even a 25 game suspension like PG. Baseball, the first time you get dinged, it's a half a season. The next time it's a full season. Like it's pretty strict. It's pretty strict, And we had at least 3 Phillies that were that were caught doing things. But as I talked about before, it didn't make them any better. It didn't make them better at all.
Kyle, all I thought of you today was, I don't want to backtrack too much to NBA basketball, but did you see like Elliot Kudo, like in an interview, was like basically like somebody asked him, they were like, "How does it feel to win?" He's like, "It feels great," because he was like talking about himself at North Carolina. He was like, everyone thought I was ass at North Carolina.
Yes.
And all I could think of was you talking about Rojas. I was like,
well, thank you for the transition into baseball. We'll take a turn and head into the MLB. I would just like to start off by saying, can we talk about Joe Adele for a second? I'm still a little.
Oh my God!
What a photo!
I'm still a little hurt. Okay, I want to say that this dude last season was one of the worst outfielders in Major League Baseball. Okay, he had a negative 14 DRS in center field. They moved him to right. He got slightly better, but just slightly better at the end of the season. He was still below average when it comes down to it. On Saturday night, this man robbed not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs from my Seattle Mariners. He took it from Cal. He took it from Naylor, and then he took it over the fence from JP. And yes, by definition, he did rob that home run because his feet were in the playing field when he caught the ball, even though he landed in the stands.
And took the coldest photo in the history of MLB.
Right? I know. But like, who are you, Joe Adele? Where did you come from? And I don't want to get X'd out, but I would like to throw double birds to Joe Adele and
just say it. Say the word. Get the X.
No, I'm good.
There's no points. There's no points.
There's no points on this pod. Let it go.
I don't want to be the host like it's X. I'm not trying to follow in.
You want me to say it? I'll say it for you.
Go for it.
No, I won't do that. Sorry.
Okay. See,
I like Steve too much.
That's what I gotta say.
Paul, Patty and I want to show you our new tattoos. I got Adele written on my. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, shut up!
You should actually get. You should. I mean, you should send him a letter. You should send
him a letter in cursive, like Mike has to do with Concanipple.
I can actually write in cursive, though, so I will totally do it. I will draft a letter to Joe Adele and say you can suck it where the sun doesn't shine, because man.
I will say I just knew who Joe Adele was because he was a big time prospect. Like when Trout was, I guess Trout now has had a little bit of an uptick. I know he got hurt last year, but a little bit of a back to an uptick to his Hall of Fame numbers. And there was a lot of talk when Joe Adele was in very young that he was going to be the Trout replacement in center field. And obviously that didn't work out. But I mean, he just, I don't even think I've seen all 3 home run robs yet. I know I saw one of them. I saw the one with the photo, but like just a cool moment. I think baseball being such a long season, you look to have these moments where you can say, each month or each week where you're like, wow, remember that? And I don't think Joe Adele will be an all-star. I don't think Joe Adele will be a star. He might not hit 250 his whole career, but he'll always have that moment. So good for him.
Yeah, just do it against a different team next time. We should have won that game.
Love it. Love it.
Diff, you're a Yankees fan?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All
Their
right, well, we
pitching's
can move on.
unbelievable right
we
now.
can move on. Yeah, we can move
Well,
on. He's
no,
a
we
Yankees
have
But
a
fan.
Schlitt-
We can move
we
on.
Schlitter's
have
getting
a
rocked right
Yankees
now, right?
fan here.
Yeah,
We'll let Diff speak. How you feeling about the Yankees? I'm not an Aaron Judge supporter. If you've ever watched me talk baseball, you know how
She's
I
a
feel about
Mariners
Aaron.
fan, and she's still pissed off that Judge got MVP over Cal.
Okay, so you're an honest and realistic sports fan. Did
Yeah.
Aaron deserve it, or did Cal deserve it last year?
Yeah, I would definitely say that Aaron Judge deserved it just because he won the batting title with 50 home runs. I think that was the only player to ever do that. And if if the batting average was a little bit higher, he probably would have gotten it. Like if it was like the 280, 290 range, he probably would have gotten it, but his batting average is probably a little bit too low, and that's the only reason why he didn't get it. And he did DH for some games, so not like all 60 home runs came as a catcher for Raleigh. That's one thing that some people kind of misconstrue with that 60 home runs as a catcher. But he did DH like probably 20 games or so. So not all 60 home runs came as him being a catcher.
Well, Diff, it was nice having you. Christy's gonna log us off now, and we'll see you. We'll see you never again.
I have these conversations all the time. I told you my husband's one of his best friends is a Yankees fan. I get to hear it all of the time. So I like to hear other people's opinions.
No, but it was a phenomenal season from Raleigh, of course. Like he was really good, and he was really good behind the plate too. So like basically any other year he would have won the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
But just when you hit 50 and win the batting title, it's kind of hard not to give that person the MVP.
So Aaron can go away anytime.
All right, I have a great baseball question for this group because it's a pretty heavy baseball group. Ready? I say yes, but I think it's very close. Aaron Judge, best right-handed hitter of all time.
No. Hank Aaron.
And the other two names I'll throw you would be, I wouldn't even put Hank, but I guess that's just because I never saw him play. I would throw Miggy and Pujols as the other two out there that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, well, Aaron's he's not going to have because he started so late in his career, like 25 or 26 when he first came up. So he's not like he might get to 500, but he's not going to come anywhere close to Pujols' totals and everything. And of course, Pujols fell off after he left St. Louis. So Aaron's average might be a little bit, but Pujols' career average probably still like 290 or so.
Yeah,
so,
I would think Miggy's probably slightly higher than Pujols, but I agree with you. Did Miggy finish with over 500 home runs or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see either way. I just feel like maybe it's because he's really I did get to watch most of Pujols and Miguel Cabrera's career as well, so I agree with them. And if anyone says Hank Aaron like you do, Diff, I can't argue with them with the home run numbers, obviously.
They're all time in hits and like most career RBIs for Hank Aaron. Like he's definitely the best.
I don't know. There's just something special about Aaron Judge. And again, obviously I'm a Met fan, but there's something special about Aaron Judge hitting for power and average the way he does in today's game that doesn't value those things. And I know the postseason numbers have, obviously a little bit of, and last year was better, have a little bit of a knock on that legacy. But I think there's just something to be said in a league that, we kind of touched on, in a league that values power hitters that don't necessarily hit over 260. Like even guys like Schwarber, Harper, like guys like that weren't hitting over 280 when they were winning these MVP awards and stuff like that. So I think for me as a baseball quote unquote purist is something that really does lean towards Aaron Judge being at least in that discussion, even if you don't put him as the best one personally.
Yeah, he's definitely in discussion.
I was going to say, I think he's in a discussion. I think he needs a few more years of doing what he's doing. But I agree with Diff. I mean, Hank Aaron's stats are incredible. And I feel like the pitching back then was comparable. You know what I mean? The pitching was solid back then. It's not like he got pitched to by like science teachers throwing 60 miles an hour.
By Mick Steamy Finnegan the fourth.
Yeah, exactly. So
another player that belongs in the discussion too, but he did steroids, so I guess he doesn't count, as Manny Ramirez. Because if you look up Manny Ramirez's baseball reference page, it's absolutely ridiculous. the RBI totals and the OPS were for like 10 to 15 years for like 120, like definitely over 100, closer to 120 as RBIs, and consistently over 1,000 OPS, more than like almost any, but like Manny Ramirez is really comparable to Pujols in like a 10-year span, but he did steroids, I guess, so it's not going to be counted.
He was like top 10 in doubles too. Like he was good from like that standpoint.
Yeah, the Green Monster helped that.
Yeah,
but Diff, the Manny Ramirez stories are better. He left $25,000 in a cab one time. One time he went up with a broken bat, hit a home run. He goes, he knew it was. They said, it was broken. He goes, yeah, I wanted to see if I could hit with it. Like he would do things. You'd be like, and I heard stories about him in high school. He hit balls with no fence. He hit like when he was playing in Washington Heights. They said they marveled at the power he had when he played. I mean. But I hear you. Yeah, the steroids. Manny. I love Manny.
He was so good.
Ugh.
The guy I feared the most as a Yankee fan, without a doubt. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could talk about the steroid era and our opinions on the steroid era forever, because that could be a whole episode on its own, because I'm sure we all have strong opinions on Major League Baseball and the steroid era and the fact that Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. All these steroid guys are not. Alex Rodriguez is not in the Hall of Fame, but like Major League Baseball wanted steroids to happen and pushed it and kind of we know what's happening, but we're going to look the other way type thing. And now, since there's a public outcry, we're going to be like, no, you weren't allowed to do that. And it's
right. Yeah. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but my stance has always been steroids maybe made you hit the ball harder, but they didn't make you a better hitter. And I will just always stand by that stance for 100%. Me. And I think that's why the pitchers that took the steroids, I think, get a little bit more flack from me, because that increased their velo or spin rate or things that were directly helping them. Like steroids were not helping Barry Bonds, Manny Ramirez, and Sammy Sosa's hand-eye coordination. Like
that's what I say all the time.
Exactly.
Their hand-eye coordination was the same. They just happened to hit the absolute piss out of the ball now because they were juicing. Like
you hit it 75 to 100 feet further because you're stronger, but like it doesn't help your hand-eye coordination at all. If anything, it probably made it worse.
And Bond's numbers before were amazing. I mean, before he took anything, he was like a
400 homer guy, right? Before alleged
400. He was a 400 stolen base guy.
Consistently over 300 average too.
Yep. Gold gloves, MVPs, like he had it all before he went there.
But I do love McGuire's rookie picture where he's like a stick. Like you see him, and he's 49 that year, and he's like, it's like, was he eating anything? And then all of a sudden the forearms, I'm like, dude, I work out all the time. My forearms don't look like that.
No, but I mean, I will say, as we've all gotten older, we've all gained a little bit of weight, and we don't look like sticks anymore. You know what I mean? So some of that, but like the biggest thing for me was always Barry Bonds, because Barry Bonds' head grew like 13 sizes.
No, his feet, he went up like 7 feet, shoe sizes, they said.
Yeah.
Have I told the story on this pod how I got clotheslined trying to get Barry Bonds' autograph? Have I told that story?
No.
I think so.
I think I did. I think I did. But I'll tell it quickly. Basically, I went to a Florida Marlins game right the year that he was going to break the record. So it was at 03?
03, I believe. Yeah.
Right. And they were playing the Giants, and my uncle was like a big time like IT guy, like down in Florida, and he got us tickets behind the plate, like because no one was going to see. This was after they traded all their, like this was post them basically trading their entire franchise away. And so Barry Bonds comes out of the dugout. I'm like, 7 years old, almost 10 years old at this point. Can't do math. And I'm like running over to the dugout, and I'm like sprinting to go get Barry Bonds' autograph. I'm like, I'm going to get Barry Bonds' autograph. And all of a sudden I just see this bouncer that probably was playing left tackle for the Dolphins at the time, just like threw his arm out like this and just absolutely drilled me. Like just drilled me. I go down. I'm like, where am I? He's like, you can't go over there, son. I'm like, sorry, mister. Like, I'm just trying to get Barry Bonds' autograph. So
that is an awesome story, Patty. Well, on that, we will get out of here for the evening. Diff, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you a lot in the future. JD, we're so happy to have you on board with us. Can't wait to share lots of screen time with you as well. Kyle, Patty, always a pleasure.
Always.
Always a
Yeah,
pleasure.
Always.
Thank you very much for
Always.
inviting me.
Absolutely.
I love you guys. It's great. It was a lot of
Love
fun.
it.
Hey, can we get a round of applause for Christy hosting, filling in
Yes.
for Paul?
Christy!
I think I
Thank
think
She
we
didn't have
should
to deal
sign
with
a
my wife
petition.
swearing all the time.
I love
I
your
think we
wife.
should sign a petition. This went a lot smoother and it was a lot less tension. I think Christy should be the permanent host. I'm just throwing it out there.
And
Throwing
a
it out
Nelly
there.
story. And I want to get the full Nelly story one night. So we'll figure that
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
We'll get it.
Yes.
We'll get it. We'll get it. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Go Phils.